Okay. Thank you everyone for joining. Today we are going to do something different. We are going to do what is known as KP Astrology, Introduction to KP Astrology, or we can say it's Nakshatra Nadi. And this is a course, this will be the basics of the KP Astrology, will be completely free. This course will be completely free. There will be nothing in it. So don't think like that if this course is free, I am not getting everything. You will get everything. How whatever little knowledge I have, I will try to give it to you. And there are 3 things that I want to mention. That this is the first, which is live. Then there will be some pre-recorded session. All the sessions that I am going to give will be unedited, so that we maintain a very classroom-like experience. Today we are going to just have the introduction of KP Astrology. What is KP Astrology? And how it is different from Parāśarī Astrology or Vedic Astrology. How this thing, what are the rules of KP Astrology? So we are going to see all of this. Then we are going to understand what are the Bhāvas, means what are the cusps, and what are the Kārakatvas. So without any delay, let us start our session. And one thing which is very important is that all these things which I am going to tell you is you have to follow it very minutely. And if you follow it very minutely, I think all the doubts and everything will be cleared. So let us start with the presentation. I hope my screen is clear to everyone. Now, before we go into the thing which is KP Astrology, we have to understand that how it is different from Parāśarī Astrology or Vedic Astrology. Because sometimes what we happen when we dive into a new system, our main problem is that we tend to inherit something from the previous system and we get confused. So in order so that we are not confused, I am going to tell you what are the things that you need to take care and what are the things that you can overlook, or what are the new things that is there in KP or Nakshatra Nadi. Now this presentation will be there in the description. Once the live session is concluded, I will upload this presentation. So the main difference between Parāśara system and KP system is that in Parāśara system, you can look into the screen, but I am telling you randomly. See, in Parāśara system, we use zodiacs, that is Rashis. We use Bhāvas, that is houses. We use planets, and we use a lot of things. So, and the confusion comes when we are dealing with a lot of permutation and lot of combination. What is that permutation and combination I am talking about? Suppose in Parāśarī Astrology, you will say Sun in the first house is giving this result. Saturn in the 7th house is giving certain results. Then first house Lord sitting in the 5th house is giving certain results. Yes, there are importance of nakshatras, but KP astrology mainly deals with nakshatras. Nakshatras are the prime over here. Everything that is there is nakshatra is the prime. Okay? And in Parāśarī Astrology, we look into birth chart, that is the Rashi chart or the D1 chart, and then there are different divisional charts. I am not telling only about Shadosha Varga, that is 16 divisional charts. There are more than 16 divisional charts. There is also a chart which is known as D150. So we have to look into different things over there in order so that we can assess those things, right? I hope I am visible right now. I was not visible previously. So the thing is, now in KP astrology, we will be not looking into the divisional charts. There is no divisional chart. We will be using what is known as birth chart or the Rashi chart, and there is a chart which is known as a KP chart. Okay, also known as KP Chalit chart or Nirayana Bhāva Chalit. Okay, KP Chalit chart, KP chart or Nirayana Bhāva Chalit chart. Now what is the difference between this? In Rashi chart, what we do, we consider the earth as a very spherical. Okay, and if we divide a sphere that is 360 degree into 12, there are 12 Rashis, so 12 equal parts, we get 30 degrees each. So a Rashi span is of 30 degree. A Bhāva span or the house span is also 30 degrees. But our earth is not spherical. Its shape is elliptical. That is the shape of an egg. So when we divide an eclipse means the elliptical shape into 12 parts, all the Rashis or all the Bhavas will not have that same 30 degree, which is known as Placidus system. Okay, so sometimes you will find that suppose your Saturn is in the 7th house, but in the KP chart it has moved into the 6th house. Rashi will remain the same, only the cusp will change. Now what is cusp? Right now for today's consideration, consider cusp as houses or bhavas. Okay, there is no difference for today only. Later on we will be proceeding, you will understand what is the difference between a house and a cusp. For today, let us understand that a cusp and a house are the same, or the bhava is the same. There is no difference in it. So if I say during this time or during this today's life, I say it is in first cusp, you will understand that this is in first house. As simple as that. Okay. And if I say it is in second house, second cusp, it is second house. 10th cusp, it is 10th house. And if you are familiar with KP astrology, sometimes people just go into KP chart, you will see that certain zodiacs are missing. Like for example, your first house, you are say of Gemini rising. Your first house is also Gemini. Your second house is also Gemini. And the third house becomes Leo. Cancer sign is not at all there. So don't worry about it. It will happen due to the elliptical shape. When we will learn about this, we will be going to much detail. And one thing I want to make sure before proceeding is that I will obviously tell you to use software. Any software like AstroSage or any good software will give you the KP chart and all other details that you need. But if you are into serious astrology and if you want to do your base, means the basics needs to be very strong. If you want a very strong base or a very strong foundation, we need to know how to calculate certain things manually. And that we will be doing in the future, not in a live but in a pre-recorded session, because if I start calculating now, it will get boring. Today, we will lay the foundation so that you should understand the difference between all those things and what is KP astrology. Now, there are other things like aspects. Now, KP doesn't rely that much on aspects. Later on, if we move into the advanced stages or intermediate stage, we will look into aspect, but aspects or drishtis are not a part. Yogas are not a part. Conjunction doesn't carry any weight. Retrograde planets. You don't have to worry about retrograde planets right now. You don't have to worry about Astangata planet, that is combust planet. You don't have to worry. These retrograde planet or combust planet will come at a very advanced stage. So, and since KP astrology deals with only birth chart and KP chart, there is a one thing that is important, that is known as cusp, which I have told you. And every cusp or every nakshatra has something which is known as sub-lord. Wow, my pen is slipping. Okay. Sub-lord. Now, what is a sub-lord? So, every nakshatra or a cusp will have a sub-lord. Now, what is sub-lord? We know nakshatra has got divisions, but KP divides the nakshatra unequally based on Vimshottari Dasha. Okay, there will be 9 Cuspal Sub-Lords unequally depending on the duration of that Mahadasha. All those calculations we will be doing later on. But right now, understand like this way: a nakshatra is divided into sub-lord, which is unequal, which is not equal. Okay, and every house will have a Cuspal Sub-Lord. Every cusp will have a sub-lord which we know as Cuspal Sub-Lord. And over here in KP astrology, we will be only using Vimshottari Dasha. If you are into Parāśarī Astrology, yes, there is Vimshottari Dasha. There are other Nakshatra Dashas like Ashtottari Dasha. There are Chara Dashas and a lot of Dashas. So over here, we will be only focusing on Vimshottari Dasha. Vimshottari Dasha, your Rashi chart or the birth chart and the KP chart. Am I clear up till now? You can write down in the comments so that I can see. So now, let me get the answers from you. Then I will proceed, because once we proceed, we are doing something different. Okay. So you don't have to look into all those things. And one important thing is that KP is very time sensitive. So if you don't have a proper birth time, your KP chart might fail. But you do not need to worry about it. There is a thing which is known as BTR or birth time rectification that you can do very easily from KP. Once we move into or progress into the classes later on, you will understand it is very easy via KP method for your BTR. And there is a thing which is known as PK. PK in KP. Now what is PK? PK is Prashna Kundli. So via Prashna Kundli, you can understand or you can answer certain questions, which is known as also Horary in KP Astrology. So KP Astrology works like this way. There is nothing more to it, there is nothing less to it. So I hope you have understood what is Cuspal Sub-Lords and everything. Now tell me one thing, when you are into Vedic astrology, or if you practice Vedic astrology or any sort of astrologies, how many rules do you need? Means do you get to follow? How many rules do you require to follow? There are numerous rules, there are numerous permutation and combinations, there are numerous ways to look into things. But today I am going to give you 10 rules of KP Astrology. And if you can understand the 10 rules of KP Astrology, your concept of KP Astrology will be clear. Yes, there are certain terms, there are certain definitions which we will be doing later on, but our whole subject will revolve around these 10 rules. There are some exceptions, obviously. When we will doing the topic, we will do the exceptions. But right now, these are the 10 rules. Okay? There are only 10 rules, nothing else. You have to understand these 10 rules. So, what are the 10 rules? Okay, again, my pen. I lost my pen. So, the first rule is, if you can look into the chart, the first rule is a graha or a planet in a horoscope operates under 3 principles. That is the position or lordship of that planet, the house it owns, its Nakshatra lord or the star lord, and the star lord sub-lord. Again, let me repeat this. Your planet will behave based on the position where it is placed in the chart, the house it owns, its Nakshatra lord, and Nakshatra lord sub-lord. So we have understood what is sub-lord. Clear? If it is not clear, you can write in the comments. And if it is clear, you can write clear. Because these are the 10 rules we are going to follow. Next, a graha or a planet will always give the result of its Nakshatra lord. How and why, that is a different thing. We will learn about it. But do not think like this way, as I have told previously, Sun in the first house will give this result. No. Sun will give the result of its Nakshatra lord. Sun, suppose Sun is in Ashwini Nakshatra. Sun is in Ashwini Nakshatra. So Sun will give the result of Ashwini Nakshatra. How? Based on Ketu. That we will see later on. So the planet will not give the result directly. It will give the result of its Nakshatra. Third, any event happening in your life, the planet will be the source. Planet's position in the horoscope will be the source. The Nakshatra lord's position will be the result. The sub-lord of that Nakshatra lord will determine the quality of result. Now, this is the most important law in this form of astrology. How? Let us check. Suppose, let us take an example. Any planet, how to reduce the size? Yeah, this is the thing. Any planet, suppose a planet is sitting in your 5th house. Okay? Its Nakshatra Lord is sitting in 8th house. Its Nakshatra Lord is sitting in 8th house. And Nakshatra Lord Sub-Lord. Suppose Nakshatra Lord Sub-Lord is, say, Venus. And that Sub-Lord of Nakshatra Lord is sitting in the house 11. Though there will be a multiple houses, but let us understand like this way. The planet sits in 5th house, Nakshatra Lord sits in 8th house, and the Sub-Lord of the Nakshatra Lord sits in 11th house. So, the source of the result, or say suppose if you have Sun Mahadasha, your 5th house will get activated. So, it will be related to your children, to your past life, to your creativity and all those things in the 5th house or 5th cusp. Okay? The result will be 8th house. That will be transformation, pain and all those things related to the 8th house. But ultimately, the result, the quality of the result is 11th house. That is, he will gain from that dasha. Yes, there will be transformation. There can be some pain or all those 8th house things. But ultimately, you will be facing what is known as a labha. That is a good outcome from that. 11th house is that. We will come to all bhavas. Okay, this is how we read KP Astrology. Now suppose the Sub-Lord was not in 11th house. Suppose the Sub-Lord was in 12th house. Then we could say that the transformation will, the 12th house is the house of something which is very bad. So the result of the, I don't want to say it over here right now. Once we know the bhavas, we will be learning about that and how to bypass them. But then the dasha will not yield a very positive result. The dasha will yield something negative result. Okay? So I think this is one of the most important law, and we will be working with this law everywhere. Clear? Now, the 4th law states that any planet, any house which is positioned 12th from it will indicate separation, withdrawal, or will destroy the significance of the previous house. For example, 6th house is the house of disease. Okay? And if any Nakshatra Lord or Cuspal Sub-Lord denotes 5th house, then the 6th house, the quality of that disease will no longer be there, because 5th house negates the 6th house. So there will be a recovery from disease. 12th house from any house destroys the significance of that house. Anywhere, if you do not understand, put in the chat. After all, after we read all the rules, I will be replying you to the chat. Now there are some exceptions also, like 11th house and 10th house, 4th house and 3rd house. There are some exceptions, but when we will doing it, we will be doing the exceptions later on. But suppose 12th house is your house of loss, 11th house is the house of profit. So what is 11th from 12? It's 12th house, right? So the 12th house is destroying the 11th house. Now, is a continuation of the next law, which is the 5th law. it is said that any planet which is second from that strengthens that house. For example, if you are having some health issue in a very broad way, okay, it seldom appears in a single house format, but think like this way: if your Cuspal Sub-Lord shows in its Nakshatra Lord shows that 7th house, and suppose you are having some disease, so it will strengthen that disease. It will strengthen that disease. The disease will not be recoverable during that time or during that prashna or anything. So the second house strengthens that house. Then there are some good aspects also. Second house is the house of accumulated wealth, your money. If third Cuspal Sub-Lord shows, your second house is getting strength. So your wealth factor is strengthened. These are the first 5 laws. I'm coming to your questions. 6th house. Sixth rule states that any single house does not operate on its own. Like I've given you an example, 5th house, 8th house and 12th house or 11th house. Never it will happen that there is only one house. It will happen very rarely. It will never happen, almost. There will be a group of houses that is working together, and that group of houses will create a thing. For example, when I have told you about 12th house, there are numerous things that are there in the 12th house. 12th house is the house of loss. 12th house is the house of foreign connections, your foreign settlement. It is also subconscious mind. So what particular thing in the 12th house will get activated, or is a $1 million question. Which particular thing of the 8th cusp or 8th house will get activated is a $1 million question that we seldom or we cannot just understand. But in KP Astrology, when we will follow the grouping of houses, we can understand, okay, it indicates loss. It might indicate some gain also. Okay. For example, there are 2 houses showing in your KP script. That is the 2nd house and the 12th house together. So you can interpret in different ways. Number 1 is that their 2nd house is the accumulation of wealth and 12th house is loss. So there will be a loss in accumulated wealth. There can be a loss in family member, or else you can read it like this way, best like this. You can gain from foreign connection. You can gain from investment. So no single house will give you the result. It is always a cluster of houses that will give you the result. Okay? Clear up till now? I hope so. Now before moving into the 7th law, let me take the questions and then I will be moving into the 7th law, because 7th law, 8th law, 9th law, 10th law is something which is important, but not, which are very easy also, but not like these things. So you can ask me questions right now. Let me go through the questions. Let me change my screen first. Okay. So where are we? Okay. KP is so simple. Yeah, it is simple. See, every astrology is simple. No astrology is something which is very bad. Everything is good. Okay, now the first question is, Sub-Lord in 12th bad, 11th good. No. As I have told you, no house will operate in a single way. If you are having only 12th, only 8th, only 6th, there is no need to worry. But you will also know how to bypass those things. There is nothing known as bad. There is nothing known as good. See, 6th house is disease. 6th house is litigation. 6th house is health. Right? 6th house is debt. But 6th house is also competition. We will be doing Bhāvas today. And okay, there is another question. So if my 6th Lord Mercury sits in 5th house with Sun, I am Aries Lagna. Does that mean 5th house remains, matters, help, destroy, sickness and enemies? See, with Sun or without Sun is not the question. With Sun or without Sun is not the question. When we will be studying about the script of KP astrology, you will understand there is no conjunction effect. The only thing you will understand right now in your KP chart, if your Mercury sits in the 6th house in Rashi chart and it is there in the 5th house, it will give the results of the 5th house. It will give results of the 5th house, not the 6th house. Okay? There are a lot of negativity about 6th, 8th and 12th. Obviously, there are a lot of negativity between 6th, 8th and 12th, but these are beautiful houses. Today we will be doing the Bhāvas, and when we do the Bhāvas, you will be, or the cusps rather, you will understand that why it is important. Okay? And mind one thing, that KP cusp or KP Bhāvas are somewhat different, in some way different from the houses that you know in Parāśarī Astrology. There are few changes, not many changes, there are only 1 or 2 changes. Okay, now let us move into the 7th law. The 7th law states about tenanted and untenanted planets or Grahas. Just remember, a planet can be tenanted or a planet can be untenanted. What are tenanted planets? What are untenanted planets? We will come to it later on when we will be doing the script. Okay. Tenant means who is rented. Untenanted means who is not rented. Now, as I have told you, only Vimshottari Dasha will be used. And all the things that we will see from Vimshottari Dasha. So, your Mahadasha, Antardasha and Pratyantar Dasha will act as a filtration for timing of events. Okay? Your Mahadasha strength is more than your Antardasha strength, and your Antardasha strength is more than your Pratyantar Dasha strength. Think like this way. You are living in a house. Mahadasha is the environment. Mahadasha is the environment outside your house. Okay? If it is hot, your Mahadasha is hot. If it is a cold season, so consider the Mahadasha to change as a cold season. Antardasha is the room that you are staying or the house you are staying. Consider it is the house you are staying. Suppose it is in a very cold environment you are staying. Okay, you will light up your fireplace. So you will work accordingly. So your house may not negate the outside temperature. Clear? And what is Pratyantar Dasha? Pratyantar Dasha is the room that you are staying. You might stay in a living room or your bedroom, anywhere else. Clear? So your Mahadasha strength is maximum. Your Antardasha strength is next to Mahadasha. And your Pratyantar Dasha strength is less than that of Antardasha. Okay? Now, what about transits? When we have got all these things together, transits will come at a very later stage. Transits will help you to pinpoint the events. Okay? To a particular date or a certain time. Last and the most beautiful thing is that there is no friendship or enmity between planets in KP astrology. So, Sun and Saturn are not enemies. Moon and Saturn are not enemies. Okay? Rahu and Saturn will not kill you. All are neutral. There is no friendship, there is no enmity. So you don't have to think like this way, oh, my Sun and Saturn is together, I am doomed. No. When we will be doing the script of KP Astrology, you will understand that there is no friendship, there is no enmity, only Nakshatra Lord and your Sub-Lord. Nakshatra Lord and Sub-Lord becomes the key. Clear? The last rule, which is very important, is that in order for an event to fructify, the operating planets are required, means to show certain houses, or their sublord should support that event. This is a much later thing, we will come. Don't have to worry about the 10th law or the tenanted or untenanted law right now. These are the 10 laws which is there in KP Astrology. There is nothing more, there is nothing less. Okay? I hope everyone is clear about the rules. You can write down in the chat right now before moving on to the next thing. I will be looking into your chats. Let me change my screen. Okay. So, you can write down. So if my 6th Lord, I have already answered, continues that there are a lot of negativity about, yes, which, ha ha ha. Now what is, why is this laugh? Why is the laugh? I don't know in which point you have laughed. I think about the enmity of the planet. So, these are the 10 rules where these are the only the 10 rules. There are nothing more, nothing less. Within these 10 rules, we will be seeing how KP operates. Okay? There is nothing more. Believe me, there is nothing more. When we will going into the advance, yes, when we will doing some Prashna Kundli, we will be taking into account of retrograde and combust. But right now, you do not have to worry about it. Forget everything. Forget the war between the planets. Forget the enmity in your horoscope. It doesn't work like that. Okay? So, yeah, there are some questions. Talking of Dasha, Saturn is my Dharakaraka. See, there is no Dharakaraka. There is no Karaka. Okay, there is no Dharakaraka. There is no, I am running Moon, Saturn, Rahu. See, we will be coming to this. There is no Karakas. I have told you this doesn't follow. Only the Nakshatra, only the things that are there. Okay. Now, should we do the Bhāvas next, or should we take some blank examples? I will create from my mind any example and we can do it. Do you want that, or do you want the Bhāvas? Because if you do not know the houses or the cusps, you cannot relate what is going to happen. It is up to you. Because after this rule, I thought I will be moving into the cusps. What is first cusp? What is second cusp? What are the things that a first cusp gives? But if you want to move into an example, I can move into an example also right now. That is up to you. Oh, there's no need to say sorry. When it will go live, means it is already live. When it will be uploaded in the YouTube, you can obviously see it from the very first. Okay. So I'm waiting for your answers. You can give your opinion. Don't worry about anything as good or bad or something like that. Otherwise, I will be moving into the Bhāvas. An example, I think. Okay. An example. Okay. Let me now just give you an example how the thing works. Clear? And then we will be moving into Bhāvas. Sir, Bhāvas, if that way we will be able to relate with the examples. Okay, I am showing you some examples. See, this is a freehand drawing. So, don't be afraid by my drawing. Okay. We will be learning about Cuspal Sub-Lords later on. How to calculate a Cuspal Sub-Lord. But right now, let us understand something which is very basic. Okay. I should have used a blank chart. Suppose this is your birth chart. Okay. This is your birth chart. You are, suppose, let us take anything. Let us take Taurus ascendant. Okay. This is your first house. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, sorry, what I have given? I have missed 10. 11, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 1 and 2. Okay. So, suppose your sun is in the second house. Okay. Your sun is in second house. Okay, not second house. Okay, let it be there in the second house. Sorry. Wait. Yeah. It is there in the second house. Now can anybody tell me what are the nakshatras that are there in Gemini? Can anybody tell me what are the nakshatras there that is in Gemini? Okay. So let's do this like this way. Suppose it is in Mrigashira Nakshatra. Okay, ruled by Mars. So we will write the planet as Sun. I am taking only the birth chart. Right now I am not drawing any KP chart. Okay. Mrigashira Adra Punarvasu. Yes. So let us consider this in Mrigashira Nakshatra. Now we are considering that this Sun has not moved in your Chalit chart, in your KP chart. Okay. It is in the same position in your KP chart. And your Mars is in the 10th house, whose position has also not changed in the KP chart. And Mars Cuspal Sub-Lord is, say, Moon. Okay. And suppose Moon is in your 4th house. The script of Sun is in the 2nd house. So we will write the position of Sun as 2nd house or 2nd cusp. Sun rules your which house? Sun's zodiac, Leo, rules your 4th zodiac. Okay. So we will write 4th. Your 2nd house and the 4th house. So this is your source. This is your source. The source of the Sun or Sun Mahadasha, or Sun can be your Cuspal Sub-Lord of any house. The source will be 2nd house and 4th house. Okay. Now its Nakshatra Lord is Mars. Mars, where it is positioned, it is 10th house. Which is the house lord of Mars? Mars is the house lord of your 7th house and your 12th house. This is the result. So your result will come through 10th house, 7th house and 12th house. How? How to interpret the result? We will be doing it in our next future videos. Okay. Right now I'm giving an example. And Moon. Now Moon is in your 4th house. It is the owner of 3rd house. So the ultimate result will be a combination of your 3rd and 4th house. This is how you make a KP script. So these houses, these bhavas becomes the source. These bhavas becomes the result. These bhavas becomes the quality of the result, whether you will enjoy the result or not. Sorry. Okay? You don't have to worry about this today itself. We will be worrying about this in the future. Clear, everyone? But when I say that your bhavas or your cusps and your Cuspal Sub-Lord is everything. For example, if I say your wealth will be seen from your 2nd Cuspal Sub-Lord. So you will write down the script of your 2nd Cuspal Sub-Lord and study it from there. Now, a common misconception, a common thing which is there in KP is that we always understand, or we tend to understand, that it is a combination of houses. But we need to understand that houses and Cuspal Sub-Lords or Sub-Lord is important. Rashis also do plays a role. Rashis also plays a role. Okay. The Kārakatvas or the significator of the planet also plays a role. For example, if you have your 10th Cuspal Sub-Lord as Rahu, okay, Rahu, Saturn, Ketu, these are the disruptors. So what is Rahu? Rahu is one of the significators or Kārakattva is sudden change. So even if your Cuspal Sub-Lord or KP script, the houses in the KP script shows very good career, there can be sudden ups and downs in your career. Are you getting my point? If your 5th Cuspal Sub-Lord is Saturn, and the script of KP, just now we have done a sample script of KP, we will be studying about it later on. So your script of KP shows positive regarding childbirth. But since it is Saturn, there will be a delay in childbirth. The promise is there. But Saturn's significator of the Kārakattva is delay. So there can be a delay. So we have to understand that not only the grouping of houses and the cusp is the most important, but we cannot overlook Rashis, especially relating to career, business, childbirth, okay, health. This is where the Rashis will come to play. Are we clear? We will be moving into the Bhāvas next. Or the cusp. Or the cusps. Okay. Now, listen. You can take the notes if you want right now, or you can take the notes later on also. because not everything of the cusp is written in this presentation. There are certain things extra that I will say, or I might say, when I tell about the cusp. Now, in any birth chart, you will find something like this given here. See, your sun. This is an example chart. This is an example thing. You will see sun. These are the signs, these are the degrees, these are the nakshatras, padas, overlook everything. These are the Rashi lords. We do not look into them. We will look into the sub-lord. We will look into the sub-lord. Clear? So this is the planet. This is the thing we are going to look in a sub-lord. In an astro sage, in KP, you will get these as sub-lord or star-lord. So, suppose your Lagna is, these are the sub-lords. See, these are the Nakshatra lords. So, these are the sub-lords. So, when I say, we look into your first house or first cusp, you will look into first Cuspal Sub-Lord. Clear? So your first Cuspal Sub-Lord, your first cusp is basically you, yourself, your ambition, your personality, what is your appearance, your thinking pattern, your likes and dislikes. Okay? It is the primary house of your health. If I want to check about your health, I will be looking into the first cusp. First cusp. To check into your personality, I will check into the first cusp. And your first cusp also indicates gains through self-effort. Right? Whatever effort that you are making, it is gain from the self-effort. Clear? Now, what is the second Cuspal Sub-Lord? Sorry, not Cuspal Sub-Lord, is second cusp shows. The second cusp shows about your speech, your family, your fooding habit, your accumulated wealth, that is your fixed asset. Okay. Your cash liquidity. Basically, it is the house of sustenance. Now, I have seen many people who has got acres of land. Okay. Who are actually rich because that is an asset. Land is an asset. And if you sell land, you will get value, and the value is much more. The value of the land is an appreciation asset. It grows from time to time. So, and if I say, okay, can you just give me right now $1,000, 1,000 rupees? So I don't have cash. So that means the cash liquidity is not there. So in order to look into cash liquidity of any person, we look into the second house. So wherever any person, if we want to check about his family, about his speech, about his wealth, about how his sustenance, his fixed asset, his banking and everything, bank balance, we will look into the second house or second cusp. Now what about third cusp? Third cusp is very important. It shows your communication, your effort, your attraction. Okay. And by communication, I mean all modes of communication. Mobile and internet communication also comes in the third cusp. So what I am doing right now, I am using online medium to deliver this lecture or this class. So I am using my third cusp. I am communicating with you. This is the activation of the third cusp. Okay. It is also the house of hobbies, online related activities, as I have told you. If you are into Parāśarī, you will know it is the siblings, it is short distance travels. Third house or third cusp is also about marketing. Okay. It also represents agency business or franchisee business. Now, what is agency or franchisee business? Suppose there is a McDonald's or KFC. If you are opening a KFC, basically what you are doing, you are opening your franchisee. It will come to your career. It is very important. It is very important. So you can understand it is franchisee. It is document, any sort of documents. Any sort of documents. Yes, I will be sharing the slides. When this live is over, I will be sharing the slides. So any sort of documents. And also it is the news. What is news? Now, very important. It is the news that you hear from other people, that you yourself receive from others. And this house also indicates business dealings. This house also indicates business dealings. See, I've told so many things. This is not there in the presentation. So this is overall third house or third cusp, which is very important. Now the fourth cusp. Fourth cusp is practically your family environment or your domestic environment where you were born. It is of luxuries and comfort. And this in KP Astrology, your fourth house is the primary house of education. Your fourth cusp is the primary house of your education. In Vedic astrology and Parāśarī Astrology, it was fifth house. But in KP Astrology, it is fourth house. Primary education. So if you have to check primary education, we will be looking into the fourth Cuspal Sub-Lord. Okay. Now, it is also the house of immovable assets. It is the house of landed property. Means it's land as well as property. Clear? Then we have got, it is the house of construction. It is the house of builders. It is the house signifying your mother, your vastu. Okay. So this is, these are the things that is there in fourth Cuspal Sub-Lord. When we will doing fourth Cuspal Sub-Lord later on, we will be adding much more things. Now, fifth Cuspal Sub-Lord. Fifth Cuspal Sub-Lord is the house of your solution. First of all, it is the solution providing house. Okay. Fifth cusp is solution. Fifth cusp is creativity. It is the talent. It is about your children. Your children learning. How your children will learn. Your love affairs. Your love feelings. It's the house of entertainment. It is also about childbirth. About healing. Because sixth house is the house of disease, or sixth cusp is the house of diseases. The fifth house is also the house of healing, or what treatment is required for you to heal. There can be number of ways. There can be modern treatment. There can be Ayurvedic treatment, etc. Then this is also a house of technical solutions. This is the house of sports. Whether you will be good at sports or not will be seen from fifth house. It is the house of your first children. First child, not children, first child. Okay. Anything else I should add? It is also about advisory field. If you are into advisory, field, this is in advisory house. This is the house where we provide. Now, advisory and consultation are different. Advisory and consultation are different. There is a minute difference in that. Okay. Sorry. Now, what is 7th Cuspal Sub-Lord or 6th Cuspal Sub-Lord? Okay, 5th, after 5th, 6th. Why I'm saying Sub-Lord? 5th cusp or 5th house. Your 6th house, your 6th cusp or 6th house shows your service. By service in Hindi we say seva. Okay. It doesn't mean that it will be job. It can also be your business. Okay. It is your job. It is also your business. Now, job and business related what? Related service. Suppose you are opening a company which is similar to Uber. So, you are actually owning your business. But that business is a service-oriented business. So, it is the house of service. It is the house of doctors. It is the house of lawyers, of finances, of, as I've told you, of health or diseases, enemies, loans, debts, okay, litigation, court problem. It is the house of competition. Competition means fight. How much you can fight in your life, how much you are competitive. Suppose you are doing some government examination or entering into some competitive examination, your 6th house becomes important. Okay. 6th house is also the house, listen this very carefully, this is very, very important, which I am going to say, which is not there in the, I think in the presentation, is it is the money earned from your effort, from your work or business. Effort in work or business. It is money earned from your effort in work or business. Okay. So don't look into 6th house as it is the only house that is creating problem. It is the house because of which you are getting paid. It is because of your effort in work and business you are getting paid. So 6th house is very important. And 6th house is the 12th house of 7th house. So 6th house can lead to divorce. As 6th house is also, we use 6th house to look into the difference in opinion. Difference in opinion. It is the house of maternal uncle also, but that is secondary. So now you can understand the importance of 6th house. So whenever you see 6th house, that just don't say, oh, this is 6th house, we are doomed. This is, I think, one of the most unfortunate thing about 6th, 8th and 12th house being presented today. Without 6th house strength, you cannot earn from your effort. Okay, you cannot be a good doctor. You cannot be a good lawyer. You cannot do service. Service is very important in life. Okay. So let's move on to 7th Cuspal Sub-Lord. As we, again I am saying Sub-Lord. What has happened? It is 7th cusp or 7th house. 7th house is the primary house of your first marriage. Of your first marriage. Not marriage as a whole. It is the house of your first marriage. It is the house of, obviously about, it will look into your marital relationship. It is about any legal partnership. Any legal partnership. Okay. It is the house of independent business. 6th house was service. 7th house is of independent business. 7th house is also the house of daily interaction with client. Means if you want to see how you are good with your daily interaction with client, you have to see your 7th Cuspal Sub-Lord. Okay. Now, this is also the house of daily sale and purchase. Like if you are opening a grocery shop, what do you do? If you are owning a grocery shop, this is your daily sale and purchase. And by this daily sale and purchase, we are interacting with clients. Clear? So this is what is 7th house or 7th cusp. Now moving into 8th cusp or 8th house. 8th house. Again, everybody fears this house. Let me first tell the negatives of this house. Then I will look into the positive. Okay. 8th house is your house, is the house of misery. Is the house of misery. Your problem, your misfortune, pain, suffering, sorrow, depression, accident. By depression, we can also see, I don't know whether I should be using this term in YouTube. It's also suicidal tendencies. Okay. Your chronic illness, humiliation, your procrastination, how much you procrastinate is seen from your 8th house. It is the house of sudden gain and sudden loss. Not only loss, there can be sudden gains also. Okay. It is the house of transformation, which changes you. It changes your outlook. It is the house of Ayu, that is your longevity. Hence, it also indicates your death. It is one of the houses which shows your death also. And what are the positive things? This is a house which gives you money. Not your money, but money which is not earned by you, by your activity, or not earned by you, but it is unearned money of others. For example, inheritance. In India, we had a system which is illegal right now, which is known as dowry. So dowry, inheritance, this is not what you have earned. This is a money which is not earned by you, but you have received. Okay. And it deals with other people's finances. And when you deal with other people's finances, you can earn money. For example, if you are a chartered accountant, you can earn money. So chartered accountant is seen from this house. Any accountancy service is seen from this house. This is the house of insurance. If your job is insurance, if you are into insurance sector, you are doing something which is 8th house as well as 3rd house. 3rd house is documentation and communication. 8th house is there. Okay. 8th house is the house of engineers. It is the house of surgeons, excellent surgeons. Now, if you look into a doctor and if you see 8th house is activated, and if he's a surgeon, think he's an excellent surgeon. Clear? It also shows your surgery. Then it has got manufacturing. This is a house of technology. Also, sometimes I consider this house linked with artificial intelligence, but do not take that into mind right now. And machine learning also. Machine learning and artificial intelligence, I am in an opinion it falls into the 8th house. A part of it falls into the 8th house. It is the house of your in-laws. Okay. Why in-laws? Can anybody tell me in the group why it is in-laws? Very simple. If you know Parāśarī Astrology, you know. And if you don't know, I am going to give you the answer. Now, next to 7th house. Yeah, 7th house is your spouse. If 2nd house is your family, 2nd house is your family. 8th house is your spouse family. That is your in-laws. Okay. Now, we have done 8. So, what is 9th cusp on 9th house? 9th house indicates your luck or your bhagya, the portion that you will receive, the portion of luck that you will receive in this life. It is the house of your ancestry, that is in Sanskrit. Yes, it is the house of your spouse, family of spouse, that is your in-laws. So, 9th is the house of your ancestry, that is Pitros. Okay? In Sanskrit, we know as Pitras. It's ancestries. Your ancestors live in this house. So if your 9th house is strong, your 9th cusp is strong, your 9th house Cuspal Sub-Lord is strong, you have got blessings of your ancestors. Okay? It is the house of your teacher or guru. It is the house of counseling. It is the house of long distance travel. It is the house of higher education, publication. It is the house of publication, tradition, religion, religious belief. Okay, I have missed one thing. 3rd cusp is writing. Okay, it is also about writing. And 9th house is publication. Clear? And this is the house of your 2nd marriage. Now, if you are marrying for a 2nd time, don't look into your 7th Cuspal Sub-Lord. Look into your 9th Cuspal Sub-Lord. Okay? It also indicates father. 10th house also indicates father. But what is the difference between 9th house father and 10th house father? We will be doing it when we will be studying more details about 9th house cusp and 10th house cusp. Okay? Not right now. Now, what is 10th house or 10th cusp? As you all know, 10th house or 10th cusp is about your career, about your profession. Not only that, what profession suits you, basically your karma. Okay? It also indicates your status that you will receive, your public recognition. It is the house of government, politics, whether you will receive promotion. It is the house of authority. As I have told, it's recognition, even branding. Branding comes from 10th house or 10th cusp. Okay? So if you are a brand, you have to look into the 10th cusp. Now, this is the house of administration, I have already told you. Okay, this is the house of your mother-in-law. If you look into mother-in-law, you have to look into 10th Cuspal Sub-Lord. So, think like this way. If your 10th Cuspal Sub-Lord is strong and you are thinking you are having an excellent career, after marriage, you have a strong mother-in-law. Can happen. Okay. You are wanting an excellent career, look into 10th Cuspal Sub-Lord. And if your 10th Cuspal Sub-Lord is strong, you are having a fantastic career. Your mother-in-law can be strong also. It's a strong-willed person. Okay. So, 11th cusp. 11th cusp is about a very important house in KP Astrology. if you see 11th, you should be very happy in your mind. Because 11th house is actually the house of result of gains, of results or gains. Suppose your 7th Cuspal Sub-Lord somehow shows 11, the number 11. Okay? Be very happy. During that time or during that dasha or during that part of your life, you will marry. Because this is gain. This is your desire being fulfilled. Okay? Also, 11th house represents your social circle, your club, the society. It also shows NGO, people who are connected with NGO, non-government organizations. They have got their 11th cusp. You have to look into the 11th cusp, or 11th cusp is there, okay? Now, if you are marrying for the third time, and when we will be discussing marriage, this is the place where we look into your third marriage. And I have known people who have done 4 to 5 marriages. Okay? Now, say last cusp is the 12th cusp. Now what is 12th cusp? 12th cusp is a very interesting cusp or interesting house. It generally indicates your failure, your disappointment in life. It is a loss-making house. It is a house that is the house of isolation, that can make you isolate. That is why we have got hospitalization and jail time in the 12th house. That is isolation, right? From the society. But 12th house also has some very important thing. It is the house of your investment. It is the house of foreign countries, of foreign settlements, of, say, bedroom pleasures. This is the house of charity. If you own a shopping mall, this indicates shopping mall. Now, why shopping mall? Why should I bring suddenly shopping mall? See, shopping mall is a place where you normally go and market. Okay? So, shopping mall. And it also indicates import-export business. It also, this is a very important house. This is also a house which shows about innovation. How much innovative you are. So if your 12th house is strong along with 8th house is also research, which I have forgotten to mention you. Any research-oriented activity is 8th house. And if you got 12th house, that is your innovation. So if 8th and 12th comes and if there is a positive vibe in it, you can make research and make a new innovation. It is not always loss. So do not fear anything bad or anything good. Am I clear? Am I clear? Because this definition of bhavas, these 10 rules of KP Astrology will be the base of what we are going to do in the future. I think it is still somewhat difficult for you to realize how KP Astrology works. But if I prolong this session by a half an hour, I think it will be good. But do tell me in the chat right now, let me talk with you guys who are there. Whatever being told right now is clear. Do you have any other questions? If yes, you can ask. If yes, you can ask. It's clear. If it's clear, write clear. Okay. If you have question, write the question. Okay. So I think it is clear for everyone over here. Everything seems clear. Yeah, we have not even progressed into the main KP. But one thing I'm going to tell you, if you have a very strong base, or if you follow the way I am moving forward, because sometimes it is very difficult to know what we need to study early or what we need to study late. I've seen so many people from the very beginning jumping into Cuspal Sub-Lords or Sub-Lords and getting completely destroyed. So if you have a very good base, you can easily win, you can easily predict events, you can easily understand KP astrology. Not only astrology, basics for any astrology is important. Okay. Now the second most important thing is, there will be some pre-recorded session. As I have told you in the beginning, there will be some pre-recorded sessions. And after 2 or 3 pre-recorded sessions, there will be a live session where we will be studying and clearing our doubts, because I know there will be doubts. There will be doubts, and whenever I am live, I am going to take your charts and discuss. It's not like that I am going to take somebody's chart who you don't know, or some famous person's chart, and apply the law, and you feel that, Ishanji has done very good prediction, but when you apply it in your chart, you are lost. When you are applying to the chart of someone you know, you are completely lost, do not understand what is going on. So I will be taking your charts. And one thing which I suggest is that whenever, from the next recorded session or next live, whatever it is, do take your chart and sit alongside the class. Because every astrologer, or not every, maximum of the astrologer, I shouldn't say every astrologer teacher or every astrologer tells you to not look into your chart. But I will tell you to look into your chart and relate whatever I am going to say. Because you are the only person who knows yourself better. Nobody else in the world knows yourself better than you. You can understand when an event is happening, you can understand what is going on in your life. So take your chart, take your family's chart, take your friend's chart, and the next time when we will doing live after the recording sessions, I will be taking your chart and clearing the doubts. Is that okay, everyone? And as I've told you before, do not think it's a free, so I will be not telling everything. I will be telling you everything. However little knowledge I have got very little knowledge. Whatever little knowledge I have, I will never gatekeep. I will always tell it to you. Okay? So, shall we proceed or shall we end the class? It's up to you. If you want to proceed, you can understand the complexity by looking into your own charts. Yes. We can proceed, sir. Okay. We are doing something which is very basic. Because as I have told you that cusps are important, bhavas or cusps are important, we have to know the importance of the significator of planets. Okay. Muskanji, we are not taking charts today. We will take charts in our next live. So let us understand the significators of each planet. If we want to understand the significators of each planet, we will be able to predict something later on, but let us now do the significators of the planet. See, there are 9 planets or 9 grahas. Sun is your Atma, soul, government, father, ego, vitality, authorship, leadership, health. Sun is your health also, okay? These are the significators of the planet. Now for moon or Chandra, it represents mother, it represents your thought, it represents your feeling, your emotions, your subconscious mind, your sleeping pattern, your imagination, your caring and nurturing. Mars is action, aggression, your desire. It is raw energy. It's the strength. It represents your younger sibling, conflict, construction, litigation, debts, and all those things. Okay? Jupiter or Guru is your growth, luck, expansion, fortune, wealth, wisdom, knowledge, your teacher, guru. All these things are seen through Jupiter. For Mercury, Mercury mainly governs your intelligence, your reasoning, your speech, not speech, your communication, okay, your networking. Mercury also represents short distance travel. So this is what is there in Mercury. Now, Jupiter, Mercury, then we move into Venus. Venus is all about luxury, about luxurious items, about jewelry, about artistic ability, about love, about passion. Okay? Saturn is pain, Saturn is delay, Saturn is structure. It is the lord of karma, or it gives the result of your action. Karma phal data. It is discomfort. It is limitation. Okay. Venus is also your wife. Saturn represents basically old people. Now, Rahu is confusion. Rahu is privacy. Rahu is sudden change, ups and downs, dissatisfaction. Now, it's unorthodox. Rahu is very unorthodox, okay? Now, suppose your 10th house is Cuspal Sub-Lord is Rahu. You will find ups and downs in career, and you cannot have a very career which is very orthodox. You have to move into career which is unorthodox. We will come to that. But Rahu also demands secrecy. When you are doing some job, you have to do some job in secret, or that thing in secret. After that thing is achieved, Rahu wants you to go to the world and do the marketing. Okay? Ketu is detachment. It is your moksha. It is isolation. It is occult. It is all occult. Okay? Not only astrology. It is all occult. Spirituality, isolation, and everything that is Ketu. So this is all about Bhāvas. This is all about the significators of the planets. We will be using significators on a planet in our career, in our childbirth, and all those things. So when you get this slide or this presentation in PDF format, I will be attaching it to the once the live is ended and it is uploaded in YouTube. I will give these things and you can read through it. Okay? And I will be attaching my WhatsApp group or WhatsApp channel, so that you can, if you want you can find updates over there. Because there are a lot of people who will be attending who I don't know. If they want to contact me, they can contact me like that way. And I have got my WhatsApp number in the public, so you can contact me like that way also. So is it clear? Is it clear up till now? So you understood what is KP Astrology, how it is different from Parāśarī Astrology, what is Cuspal Sub-Lord, what is Sub-Lords rather, how to calculate Sub-Lord we have not done yet, what is the basic laws or the 10 laws of KP. We have learned about the Bhāvas, we have learned about the Kārakatvas or the Significators. I think this is enough for today. Will you share in the community post about further classes and details? Yeah, I will be sharing community post also. And I will be sharing WhatsApp channel also. Don't worry, I will be sharing in YouTube. I also share in Threads. I am there in Threads platform. I also share in Threads. So I will be sharing it 2 to 3 days before live, okay, or a day before live. And whenever the classes are out, you can see in the YouTube itself. It will be all there in the YouTube, already free. So I think this is enough. Though I had a topic in mind which is tenanted and untenanted planet, but I will be not taking that untenanted and tenanted planet right now. It is there in the presentation. It is there in the presentation, but it will be too heavy for you to understand tenanted and untenanted planets until and unless we learn the script of KP. So in my next upload, I am going to tell you about Cuspal Sub-Lord, or what are cusp first, how to calculate a cusp. Cusps are already given in the softwares. Any softwares you can find cusp. Okay. But how to calculate cusp, you should know. Right. For example, even if you use a calculator for addition, multiplication, subtraction or division, you should know how to add. You should know how to multiply. You should know how to subtract. You should know how to divide. So these things become important. So I will be teaching you manually. I will be giving you hints how to cast your KP chart. Not now, not in the next recorded session, later on. And I will follow a pattern. Like when I will tell about your cusp, next I will be studying about your first cusp through first Cuspal Sub-Lord. First cusp through first Cuspal Sub-Lord. That is you, yourself, your health, everything will be covered. Second, we will be doing your second cusp through second Cuspal Sub-Lord, and so on up to 12 cusps. So that every cusp is clear. That's the base you need. And then we will be moving into about dashas, how dashas will affect you, how transits will affect you. And by that time, you can yourself do BTR, but time rectification. And though Prashna Kundli is not a part of basic KP astrology, if you want, and if I get very good response in this course, I will teach you Prashna Kundli. Okay? So I think that's it for today. Very soon, you will be receiving your first or the second class recording of what is Cuspal, what is Sub-Lord, and about your first Cuspal Sub-Lord. Okay, very soon. Though I have not recorded yet, I will record it and send it to you. It will take a day or two if I have time. So for a minimum, you will get 1 video per week, if not 2. And after 2-3 videos, we are going to do live. And all my videos will be unedited, okay? So there will be awkward process like this, pauses, there can be some fumbling. Because if I go into edit, I will take much time to publish the video. Now there is a question coming up. What is the best software for KP? Do you think? I have tried a few different ones and getting different outcomes of the chart. Okay. You can use AstroSage. You can use AstroSage software. That is there in iPhone. That is there means in iOS as well as in Android. AstroSage I think is globally available. You can download AstroSage and you can directly click into KP tab. Okay. Once you click into KP tab, you will find your birth chart. You will find your KP chart. You will find your house cusps. You will find your planet Cuspal Sub-Lord. The most important chart we will be following over there is Nakshatra Nadi. Nakshatra Nadi. Okay. There is also one software or which is free in the Windows, that is Jagannath Hora. Over there you can find KP. There is an Android based app which is known as KP Stellar, I think so. KP Stellar. So that can, now let me check my phone, okay? Give me a minute. Yeah, that software is KP Stellar. So you can have that KP Stellar software. And over there you will find the Nakshatra Nadi. 3 steps. I'm not going into 4 steps. There are different steps. We will only do 3 steps as of now. Any further questions before we close today? I hope you have enjoyed the session. It is always good to know how to calculate cusp. Yeah, we will be calculating cusp. Because what I find, the most important thing when we start astrology, any astrology we start, we always rely on softwares. We do not know how to cast a chart manually. And suppose if there is no software, no laptop, no desktop, no mobile phones, we cannot cast a chart. We will completely blank. And that is very dangerous. Even I encourage to use the softwares, to use the apps. But you should know how the calculation is done. And when you know the calculation is done, the concepts become very much clear. Okay. Thank you. First ever astrology class. Pleasure attending, sir. Thank you. So I am closing it as of today. Thank you very much. The recorded sessions will be available soon. I think we will go live after having second Cuspal Sub-Lord or second cusp or third Cuspal Sub-Lord or third cusp. After 2-3 recorded sessions, we will be again going live to clear your doubts as I have told you. Okay? And thank you for attending the class. Thank you for your support. I don't know where you are from, all over the world or anywhere. It's night over here. So I am saying good night. It might be good morning to you, good evening to you. Okay. See you soon. Take care. And I welcome you to the journey of KP. This is the most basic class that we have done. Thank you.